In a world often plagued by division and uncertainty, a moment of divine wonder has brought hope and awe to millions. On an ordinary evening in Jerusalem, an extraordinary event unfolded that will forever be etched in the annals of history. Thousands of witnesses claim to have seen an apparition of Jesus Christ and an angel in the skies above the ancient city. The miraculous sight has sparked a wave of reverence, discussion, and reflection across the globe. It was an otherwise peaceful evening in Jerusalem, the city bustling with life as locals and tourists alike went about their routines. Around 6:30 p.m., the sky above the city began to shift. Witnesses describe a warm, golden glow enveloping the horizon, followed by an ethereal stillness that seemed to hush the world. Many report that as they gazed upward, two distinct forms became visible. One resembling the figure of Jesus Christ, with outstretched arms as if offering a blessing, and the other, an angelic being with luminous wings and a serene, radiant presence. The figures lingered in the sky for what some estimate to be nearly 20 minutes, allowing time for those below to marvel, pray, and record the miraculous event. Eyewitness testimonies have poured in from all corners of the city. Social media platforms are flooded with videos and photos, many of which depict what appears to be the faint outline of two divine figures in the sky. Leah Abramson, a Jerusalem resident, shared her experience. At first, I thought it was just clouds catching the light of the setting sun, but then the shapes became clearer. I felt an overwhelming peace, like something truly holy was happening. A visiting tourist, David Martinez from Spain, recounted, "The figure of Jesus was unmistakable. The angel beside him seemed to be glowing with an inner light. I'm not a deeply religious person, but seeing this has changed something in me." Religious leaders and scholars are interpreting this event through the lens of faith and theology. Many in the Christian community believe it to be a divine sign, perhaps heralding a message of hope, renewal, or unity. Clergy from churches worldwide have called for special prayers and gatherings to reflect on the meaning of the apparition. Rabbi Shimon ben Haim, a respected figure in Jerusalem, commented, "Jerusalem has always been a city of profound spiritual significance. This event reminds us of the divine presence that has watched over this land for millennia." Muslim and Jewish communities have also expressed reverence for the site, viewing it as a call for peace and harmony among the Abrahamic faiths. While the faithful interpret the event as a miracle, scientists are examining the phenomenon through a different lens. Meteorologists have noted unusual atmospheric conditions on the day of the apparition, including rare cloud formations and light refraction patterns. However, even skeptics admit that the timing and resemblance of the figures to religious imagery are extraordinary. Dr. Alan Royce, an astrophysicist, stated, "We can explain some aspects of the event through science, but the emotional and spiritual impact goes far beyond what physics alone can account for." The miraculous sighting in Jerusalem has sparked global attention, with millions tuning in to news broadcasts and social media updates. People from various cultural and religious backgrounds have shared messages of hope, unity, and faith inspired by the event. In Rome, Pope Francis addressed the phenomenon during his weekly audience. "This is a moment to remember our shared humanity and the love of God that transcends all boundaries. Let us pray for peace and understanding." In Mecca, an imam during Friday prayers called for solidarity among believers of all faiths, referencing the apparition as a reminder of the divine mercy present in the world. Whether seen as a miracle, a natural phenomenon, or something yet unexplained, the appearance of Jesus and an angel in the skies above Jerusalem has undeniably left an indelible mark on the hearts of those who witnessed it. The event has reignited conversations about faith, the divine, and humanity's place in a world that often seems chaotic and divided. As the world processes this extraordinary occurrence, one thing is clear. It has reminded us all of the mystery and wonder that can still touch our lives, even in the modern age. Whether you believe in miracles or simply marvel at the power of collective awe, the story of this day in Jerusalem will continue to inspire and captivate for generations to come. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about one of the most profound truths found in Jesus' teachings, a truth that reveals the very nature of God and His work in our lives. The title of today's message is, God Never Operates in the Possible. You see, one of the most remarkable aspects of Jesus' ministry is how He consistently pointed people beyond their human limitations. He He challenged the status quo of what we think is possible and called us to embrace the miraculous power of God. Let's dive into a story that perfectly illustrates this. Do you remember the feeding of the 5,000? It's found in all four Gospels, so you know it's significant. Here's the scene. There's a massive crowd, and they've been following Jesus all day, hanging on his every word. But now they're hungry, and the disciples panic. They come to Jesus and say, "Send them away so they can buy food." And Jesus responds. He says, "You give them something to eat." Imagine their confusion. They check their resources. 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. That's not even enough for the 12 disciples, let alone thousands of people. What does Jesus do? He takes what they have, blesses it, breaks it, and it multiplies. Everyone eats their fill, and there are 12 baskets of leftovers. Now, let's pause here. Why didn't Jesus just send the crowd away? Why did he ask the disciples to give what little they had? Because Jesus was teaching them and us that God operates beyond the boundaries of human possibility. Audience murmurs, agreeing. Here's the key takeaway. Faith begins where human ability ends. God is not limited by the constraints we face. He's not looking at the size of your bank account, your education, or your past mistakes. He's looking at your willingness to trust him. Let's turn to another powerful example. When Peter walks on water, it's late at night, and the disciples are in a boat on the sea. A storm arises, and they're terrified. Then they see Jesus walking toward them on the water. Peter calls out, "Lord, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water." What does Jesus say? One word, come. Peter steps out of the boat and starts walking on the water. Think about that for a moment. A human being walking on water. That's impossible, right? But here's the lesson. Peter was walking not on water, but on faith in the word of Jesus. The moment he took his eyes off Jesus and focused on the wind and waves, he began to sink. This is crucial for us to understand. When we focus on our circumstances, our impossibilities, we lose sight of the one who makes all things possible. I can't emphasize this enough. God's greatest works are accomplished in the realm of the impossible. Think of the cross. To human eyes, it looked like defeat. The Messiah crucified, his followers scattered, his mission seemingly crushed. But what happened 3 days later? Jesus rose from the dead, shattering the power of sin and death. The resurrection is the ultimate example of God working beyond human comprehension. And here's the beautiful part. That same power is at work in us. Ephesians 3:20 says, "Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us,